Yeah. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another college basketball daily recap. You thought I was going to forget the daily upload streak. Well, there was supposed to be a vlog today. Remember that vlog I did when Lake Central played Munster, biggest rivalry in Northwest Indiana? Well, we played them today in the sectional title, right? To go to the regional, big game, packed house. And I was going to vlog. I started vlogging. We got our ass kicked. It was not good. We lost 59-44 to our biggest rival. But we beat them 7 years in a row in football, so we're fine. We're fine. I'm not losing any sleep knowing I'm not a stag. They call themselves the Stags because they're the Mustangs. They call themselves the Stags. The dumbest shit I've ever heard. Anyway, let's talk about what happened in college basketball today because you can probably tell my voice is gone. I've been screaming the last 2 days nonstop because yesterday LC had a playoff game. They beat Chicago. But so my voice is just shot. It's just shot. But it was an eventful day in college basketball, to say the least. So let's see what we got. Do we have to start with IU, bro? My current school and my future school both lost to their biggest rivals today. I will say, though, IU did play better than I thought they would. What was the spread? Purdue was favored by 10, and they only won by 2. It was a great game. Indiana was losing by a ton early in that game. They came back, even took the lead in the late part of the game. They did end up losing in the end, but IU showed a lot of fight in that game. They were really trying to come back, you could tell. But it's hard to win at Mackey. It's just really hard to win at Mackey Arena. Here's the thing. I think that game helped IU's tournament case. Because if they would have gone in there and gotten killed, fine, but they looked like a tournament team today. They looked like capable. They looked like a tournament team. Oh my God. Houston Baptist beat McNeese 149-144 in 4 overtimes. Hope y'all took the over. Jeez. We'll get to Duke. Be patient. 149-144 in quadruple overtime. Hope y'all took the over. My goodness. Anyway, as of now, I might even have IU in the tournament because a lot of teams around IU in the bubble lost. So, I'm feeling good about possibility. USC and UCLA are playing. UCLA currently up 62-54. Arizona all over Cal, 89-61. Baylor and Iowa State. Now, this game, I think, is cause for concern for both teams, and I'm going to explain what I'm talking about in a second. This game, at one point, Baylor was up 29-4. 29-4. Okay, Iowa State is not a tournament-worthy team. They're 7-11 in conference. Wow, you went 13-0 out of conference by virtue of playing nobodies? I'm sorry, you're not a tournament-quality team. They'll make the tournament, but they shouldn't. 29-4. But here's the cause of concern for Baylor, is that Iowa State came back. They came roaring back. 29-4 became 38-19, became 41-31, became 48-38, became 56-50, became 58-56, and all of a sudden Iowa State was up by 2 with 4 minutes left. Baylor squeaked it out. Okay, hopefully that didn't cut out too much. Is this the same? All right, I'm sorry. My screen was glitching for a second. 29-4, and they came back and took the lead. They came all the way back and took the lead. But Baylor squeaked it out. I think that's cause for concern for both teams. Because you can't be going down 29-4 in any game. But you also can't be blowing 25-point leads, Baylor. I don't know about those teams, man. I don't know about those teams. I've been all over Baylor. All right, it's time to talk about Duke. What happened with Duke? All you heard was, it's Krzyzewski's last game at Cameron. It's goodbye to a legend. Bye, Mike Krzyzewski. Last game at Cameron. And, they're playing UNC, their biggest rival. They would love nothing more than to go out on a high note with Coach K leaving. Coach K leaving on a high note. And to be honest, no one really gave UNC a chance in this game. I didn't give UNC a chance. They got mauled at home by Duke. How are they going to beat them on the road, especially with that crowd? The crowd that Duke had, they got to turn up for their coach's last game. I'm like, Krzyzewski's not about to lose his last game at Cameron. Now, I didn't get to watch any of this game because this game started the same time the Lake Central game did. So I didn't get to see any of this game. But I did look at the highlights, and I could look at a box score and figure out what went on. Okay, hanging around. Duke took a bit of a lead. They were up 7. And then UNC in the second half, they're hanging around. Oh, they took the lead. And they put the hammer on them in the last 10 minutes of that game. Last 10 minutes of that game, UNC ran away with it. And they won 94-81. Duke was favored by 11. And UNC won by 13. They did 24 points better than what Vegas predicted them. So, UNC spoiling that must feel great to spoil such a big day for your rivals. Just one big middle finger to Mike Krzyzewski before he leaves Cameron. That's got to feel great for UNC fans. They will be the 3 seed in the ACC tournament. We'll talk about Murray State in a minute. Yeah, Duke got punched in the mouth the last part of that game. So UNC got 55 points in the second half. I think UNC, they're officially in now. I thought they were officially in before this game. I'd be giving UNC more credit than most people were. I think that's solidified now. Don't even worry about it. You're in the tournament, 23-8. They might even be ranked. Oh, dude, Armando Bacot is an animal. That guy's just an animal. And Mike Krzyzewski, what was he? He was like crying when like fans were booing when they were losing. It's like, oh, respect the kids, man. I'm so sick of this. They're just kids, man. They're just kids. Don't be mean to them. Shut up with the they're just kids. No. If they can get paid from NIL deals, treat them like professionals, because they pretty much are. Like, stop with these kids. I don't like that. I see where they're coming from. Yeah, they're young players, but like, if you don't perform to expectations, you got to reap the consequences. Yeah, but Coach K was like crying. He's like, shut up. he acts like he can run everything at the Duke program. Like, Duke fans were, like, booing. I remember one game, Duke fans were booing the opposing coach. I forget who they were playing. But they were playing someone, and they were booing the opposing coach. Well, said opposing coach played for Duke at one point. He was, like, a Duke alumni. He had played at Duke. And Krzyzewski, like, ran over to the students. He's like, you can't boo him. He's one of us. You can't boo him. Like, shut up, man. You don't run the whole stadium, bro. Just stop. It's like, it's not all about you all the time, bro. It's not all about you. I guess today was all about you, but still, you lost. Biggest game of the year for your team, you lost. You could tell during, like, the post-game ceremony and everything, he was pissed. He was pissed. Anyway, that's enough about Duke UNC. Let's, South Carolina and Auburn. Auburn won that pretty easily. Won 82-71. Kansas and Texas. This was a good game. This game went to overtime. It was pretty much back and forth the whole game. The largest lead any team had was Texas by, like, 5. It was, like, if you look at, like, the game flow chart, usually, like, the two teams scores like this and the one team goes ahead. It's, like, neck and neck the whole game. It's neck and neck the whole game. And in the final seconds of the game, Kansas had the ball and Texas knocked it out of their hands. Kansas guy picked it up off the ground, turn around, fade away for the win, and he banked it home to win the game. But hold on, they're calling it whistles. He didn't get it off. He was so close to getting off this miracle shot that he made, but he didn't get it off. So game went to overtime, and in overtime it was all Kansas. Kansas outscored Texas 13-6 in overtime. Valiant effort by the Longhorns at Allen Fieldhouse, but not enough. Kansas comes away with a win. Now, I think Baylor won the Big 12 regular season title, which doesn't make sense because them and Kansas both went 14-4 in conference. Baylor beat Kansas once. Kansas beat Baylor once. So I don't know how Baylor got it over them. Are they co-Big 12 conference champions? I don't really know how that works. To be honest, a regular season conference title doesn't mean anything. Get it done in the tournament. Like, yeah, for all these small conferences, regular season title doesn't mean anything. You got to win the tournament. So you want to be the real Big 12 champs, win the tournament. What's next? Kentucky and Florida. This was good for IU that Florida lost. Florida they were down 12 at half, did come back a little bit. But all in all, good for IU that Florida lost. I think IU's better than Florida. IU's better. Let's be honest. They're better. Villanova, easy win over Butler. Butler is in the midst of a down year. They're 6-14 in the Big East, 13-18 overall. Not a good year for Butler. Florida busted their bubble. I wouldn't say so. They still have a chance to make the tournament. They have as good a chance as any other bubble team. They get some good wins. Oklahoma State upset Texas Tech today. Holy cow. Texas Tech was up 40. They hit a 3 with 9 minutes to go up 49-39. With 9 minutes left. They did not score. Until there were 30 seconds left in the game. They went on a 9-minute scoreless drought in the second half. If that isn't cause for concern, I don't know what is. That was bad. And it's not even like Oklahoma State was shooting the lights out in that. Like, you were up 10, and throughout that 9-minute scoreless drought, you ended only being down like 3. I mean, you cannot be winning games if you don't score for 9 minutes. Like I said, made it 3 with 9 minutes 40 seconds. Didn't score until there were 30 seconds left in the game. Jeez, man. And you still only lost by 1. Because Oklahoma State is garbage. Wow. That's cause for concern for Texas Tech, if you ask me. You cannot be doing that, man. This was a great game. Tennessee and Arkansas. This was a great game. Tennessee dominating the whole game. They were up 50 to 29 at half. And you're like, oh, game over. They had a 99.2% chance to win at half. And then Arkansas chipping away, 54-41, 54-43. But then Tennessee opened the lead back up after they closed it. After they closed it, they opened the lead back up. And then, all right, 71-57, 73-62, 73-65, 74-70. I mean, it got dangerously close for Tennessee at the end, but they escaped the comeback. They won by 4. Arkansas, I mean, they got rammed in the first half, but the second half, they looked good. Arkansas, I mean, great game. I saw a stat. The top 5 teams of the top 4 teams of the SEC, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas, are 61-1 at home. They're 61-1 at home. Wow, that's wild. Because what? Auburn lost to Arkansas on the road. Arkansas lost to Tennessee on the road. Tennessee lost to Kentucky on the road. Kentucky lost to Tennessee on the road. Kentucky lost to Auburn on the road. It's that home court, man. Hey, I will say this, though. There's no home court in the SEC tournament. We might really get to see who's the cream of the crop, because all these teams are getting such an advantage from their home courts. SEC tournament, we'll really get to see who's cream. The SEC tournament's going to be wild. But it's probably the Arkansas game, tasty game. Arkansas fans legit brag to Vol fans about almost making the comeback. But we almost came back. But you didn't win. So shut up and take your L. Arkansas is still really good, though. I mean, I wouldn't even mark Arkansas down for that loss. I mean, that was a great game. UConn, easy win over DePaul. DePaul is... See, I live in the Chicago area. I want DePaul to be good, but it's not happening. Okay, this game had me in cardiac arrest. Like, how do you go 1-38 combined conference and 9-51? Yeah, I don't know. This game had me in cardiac arrest like 10 times. So Morehead State upset Belmont in the OVC semifinal. So they're playing red-hot Murray State in the final. Murray State hadn't lost a conference game all year. And Morehead State hung with them the entire game. The lead didn't get up over like 7. I mean, it literally was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The whole game. The whole game. And here's the problem. If Morehead State pulls this upset, then they're in the tournament, and Murray State's also going to be in the tournament, because they would be, if they would have lost, 29-3. And I'm like, ain't no way Morehead State is about to take Indiana's bet. I'm like, hell no. So I was rooting so hard for Murray State this game. And they did end up squeaking out the win by 4 in the final minute of the game. They did end up winning. That game made me nervous, though. That game had me real nervous. But good win for Murray State. They finished 30-2. Now, here's the problem. their conference tournament ends so early. This is the first conference tournament to end, I think. So they're not going to play a game until the first round of the NCAA tournament, which is March 17th. They're not going to play for 12 days. I would not like that if I was like a coach. Not playing for 12 days, I would not like that. Maybe they'll lose some momentum. That will be a cause for concern for Murray State. Still a great team, though. Still a great team. I think as for like a seed, I mean, they're ranked. So I'd say 6 or 5. I mean, they're 30-2, man. And those 2 losses are to East Tennessee State, the 4th game of the year, and Auburn. And they didn't even get murdered by Auburn. Was by 13. Yeah. Y'all want to talk about Jacksonville State and Bellarmine? Hold on. Let me finish the ranked teams. And Alabama beat LSU beat Alabama. They beat them 80-77. That was a good game. Okay, I don't know what happened in this game, so I'm about to see what happens. So, you said Bellarmine and Jacksonville State? Okay. Let me find this. Oh, hold on. Okay, so that's the A-Sun, right? A-Sun. Bellarmine beat Liberty. Okay. Looks like a pretty standard game. I guess that's an upset because they weren't really supposed to win. Okay. All right. What happened with Jacksonville State? Oh, they lost. Jacksonville State lost to Jacksonville. That's got to be our big rivalry, man. That's got to be a big rivalry. Wow. That's rough. That's rough. Losing to your rivals like that. That's tough. That's a tough loss for Jacksonville State. Okay, so what is it? It's Jacksonville, the Dolphins, and Bellarmine in the conference title. I know Bellarmine played Purdue earlier in the year and lost by like 50 points. Wow. I don't know, man. That's interesting. I'm glad y'all brought that up. Currently, now this is another important game. Currently, BYU is playing San Francisco, and San Francisco is up by 4. Now, if San Francisco could win this game, I think that would knock BYU out of tournament play. Oh, Bellarmine's ineligible. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Because of that See, that's so stupid. Like, that's so dumb. So basically, Bellarmine was just introduced into D1 like last year. And here's the rule. The rule is your first year in D1, you can't compete in any tournaments. You can't compete in your conference tournament. You can't compete in the NIT or the NCAA tournament. You can't compete in any conference tournaments. You can't compete in any tournaments. Your second year, they let you compete in conference tournaments, but you have to go through like a certain amount of like waiting period before you can play in like a national tournament, which is the dumbest shit ever. Why? There's no good reason why. There's zero good reason why. Like, that's so stupid. Like, so Bellarmine could win their conference and they still can't make the tournament. That's stupid. So Jacksonville State, congrats, you're going to the tournament whether you win or lose. No, Jacksonville will get in if they win. Oh, Oh, so it goes to the regular season champ. Oh, that's interesting. So if Bellarmine wins, they can't go to the tournament, so they give it to the regular season champ, not the runner-up? That is wild. Wow. Okay, so Jacksonville State is about to be rooting hardcore for Bellarmine. That's wild. Wow. I do want to look at the Mountain West. Wyoming, who is a good team, but they were slipping a little bit. They had lost a few games, and they're kind of on the bubble. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Wyoming won in overtime against Fresno State. They needed that win. They need to keep winning games. And hey, overtime, you'll take a win any way you can get it. So good for Wyoming to survive. What do you say? I actually like that. It'll make the championship competitive. It's a championship game. It's going to be competitive no matter what. Colorado State beat Boise State 71-68. That was a back and forth game, man. Wow. Colorado State up by what? Yeah. Oh, Boise State choked some free throws near the end of that game. So Colorado State gets the win. Boise State still won the regular season title, though. Boise State went 15-3 in conference. Colorado State 14-4. Wyoming 13-5. So both those teams will make the tournament. Colorado State's 24-4. Boise State is 24-7. I'll probably have Colorado State 5 seed or 6 seed. How many Mountain West teams are going to get in? Okay, Colorado State will get in. Boise State will get in. San Diego State will get in. Wyoming also should get in. I think 4. 4 max. Minimum 2. I don't think they'll leave San Diego State or Wyoming out. I think both those teams will make it. As long as they don't get upset by someone in the Mountain West tournament. If the final 4 in the Mountain West tournament are Boise, Colorado State, Wyoming, and San Diego State, then all 4 will get in, unless one of them gets upset. But those 4 teams are so much better than the other teams, like UNLV, Fresno, Utah State, San Jose State. They just can't compete. So I wouldn't worry about anything else. Fresno's played Wyoming and San Diego State through the past 2 seasons. Yeah. Oregon should be watched. Oh, we got to talk about that. So Oregon is one of those teams that's competing with IU for that last bubble spot. And Oregon has been a wacky team this year. They started off terribly. Lost to BYU, lost to St. Mary's, lost to Houston. Now, those are all good teams. Lost to Arizona State, not a good team. Lost to Stanford, not a good team. Almost beat Baylor. Actually gave Baylor a really good game when Baylor was number 1. But didn't end up winning. They were like 6-6 to start the year. Like, not looking too good for Oregon. Then they rattled off some wins. Beat Pepperdine, Utah, beat Oregon State, and then they beat number 3 UCLA and number 5 USC in the span of 3 days. They beat 2 top 5 teams in 3 days. So they're like, okay. They lost to Colorado, okay. Then they ran out 4 in a row. Beat Oregon State, Colorado, Utah, Stanford. And you're like, okay, they might be starting to get back into the tournament conversation. Lost to Cal. You should not be losing to Cal. Got mauled by Arizona State again. 81-57. Played Arizona on the road and hung with them for a while, lost by 3. It was a great game, but they couldn't quite pull it out. Beat UCLA. At home, they beat UCLA. And so they were looking pretty good. They were sitting at 18-10. If you could finish strong the rest of the way, should be okay. And should be able to fight for a tournament spot. Played USC at home. Lost by 1. That hurt. Okay. That hurt. But, all right, 18-11. You'll be fine. They played at Washington, and they lost 78-67. That hurt a lot, but it gets worse. They played at Washington State today and lost. They didn't just lose. They lost by 20. 94-74 to Washington State? Really? Really, Oregon? They are now 5th in the Pac-12 at 18-13. They have the same record as Washington State and the same conference record as Washington State. They're not making the tournament. Sorry, Oregon. You're not making the tournament. Those 2 losses, boom, nail in the coffin. Not making the tournament. You had to beat both those Washington teams. And didn't do it. You see Ohio State deserved to be in the college football playoff? No. What else? Oh, yeah, Virginia Tech lost. That was good because they were kind of creeping up near bubble talk. Put it back down. We need all those bubble teams to lose. Like VCU, Dayton. Dayton got a big win over Davidson. Davidson 25-5. Dayton needed to win to keep any tournament hopes alive, and they did. Big upset by his IUP. Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis. My cousin went there. My cousin went to IUPUI. They are terrible. They are a new breed of terrible, bro. They were calling on student tryouts because their whole team like quit or something. Bro, if IU calls on student tryouts for their team, please believe I'm up in that gym, bro. Please believe I'm up in that gym getting shots up. 100%. That'll never happen, but like 19 quad for losses. That's not good. Let's take a look. Before we end this, I want to look at KenPom efficiency ratings. Who is the most efficient team in the country? The most efficient team is Gonzaga, averaging 32, with an average margin of 32 points per 100 possessions. Basically, what it does is see. I don't like the net because the net is weird. The net always has like some random ass teams in like the top 10. When you're like, that's not a top 10 team. Like last year, they had Colgate in the top 10. Like, let's look at the net rankings right now before we look at KenPom. Let's look at the net. Like, okay, the net is weird as shit. Okay. Gonzaga number 1, Arizona 2, Houston 3. Houston's not the 3rd best team in the country. Baylor 4, Kentucky 5, Duke 6, Villanova 7, Tennessee 8, Kansas 9, Auburn 10, Texas Tech 11, UCLA 12, Purdue 13, Illinois 14, Iowa 15, UConn, St. Mary's, okay, Loyola at 29, Boise at 30, Virginia Tech at 32, Michigan State at 40. North Texas. Yeah, baby. Yeah, they got Notre Dame at 53. They got like Texas A&M. No, yeah, the net. Screw the net. The net is useless in my opinion. But Ken Palm efficiency ratings. So what the margin is so you got to look at their adjusted offense and adjusted defense. Okay, offense is how many points you score per 100 possessions. If you get 100 possessions, how many points are you scoring? So the team with the best offense in the country is Purdue, averaging 122 points per 100 possessions. Now, defense is how many points you allow per 100 possessions. The best defensive efficiency team in the country is San Diego State, only allowing 86 points on defense. Now, North Texas lost? No way, bro. Hold on. I got to look at that. There's no way. I'll cry. Say, please be lying. No. They lost to UTEP. Anyway, they're fine. Don't worry. Still rock with me. So margin is points you score minus points you allow. Points you score minus points you allow. So you want to have the best margin. The team with the best margin is Gonzaga. They are ranked second in offense and sixth in defense. Arizona is second, 8th in offense, 14th in defense. Other teams, Kentucky 3rd, Baylor 4th, Houston 5. Maybe Houston will get back to the Final Four. I will say, when Houston made the Final Four, they had a cupcake schedule to get there. I'm not even like... Okay, who'd they beat? Cleveland State in the first round. Rutgers in the second round. Who they play in the third round? I can't remember who they played in the third round. And then they played Oregon State in the Elite Eight. No one knows how Oregon State got there. So, like, I mean, I know they're still good, but I don't think Houston's that great. And then they went to the Final Four and got mauled by Baylor. But to pick your upsets, you want to find a team that's really high in, like, one category. So, like, let's take a look at offense. Best teams on offense. Purdue, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Iowa, Duke, Villanova, Kansas, Arizona, Baylor, Houston, Ohio State, Davidson, 12th in offense. Alabama, South Dakota State, 13th in offense. Problem, though, is they're 233rd in defense. UCLA Furman. Furman is 16th in offense. Interesting. Foster Lawyer Revenge Tour. I forgot he transferred. Defense. Who's the best teams on defense? I didn't think San Diego State was that great on defense. Apparently they are. Texas Tech, also good at defense. Yeah, Oral Roberts was bad on defense too. South Dakota State and Oral Roberts are very similar teams. This year's South Dakota, last year's Oral Roberts. Tennessee, VCU, 4th in defense. I'll tell you, if VCU makes the tournament, watch out, because they couldn't even play last year because of COVID. And I thought they would have beaten Oregon. I picked VCU. Which is bullshit that they lost. They lost. Like, it's so dumb. They're kind of like NC State of the College World Series. Revenge Tour. Watch out for VCU if they make the tournament, which I think they will. They look pretty good. Gonzaga. Oklahoma State, too bad they won't make the tournament. Iowa State's good in defense, but they suck. LSU, they're 5th in defense. Here's what I'm going to say. Find you a team that is top 20 in both offense and defense. teams that are in top 20 in offense and defense. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Houston. And that's it. Those 4 are the only ones that are top 20 in both. I'll say those again. Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky, Baylor, Houston. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Houston. Not Kentucky. Kentucky's 24 in defense. So top 20, offense and defense. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Houston. I would pick one of those 4 teams if I were you. And I wouldn't pick Gonzaga because I'm not picking them until they actually win a national championship. And I would pick Houston because I think they're kind of overrated. So that leaves you with Arizona or Baylor, who I think are the 2 best teams. Yeah. Teams that are top, like Auburn's 23rd in offense, and Kentucky's 24th in defense. So put them on there too. Kentucky and Auburn. Kentucky, Auburn, Arizona, Baylor. Take your pick of those 4. Because one of them will win the national title, in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Wichita State, they're not very good. I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.